Welcome, everyone, to more Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. Restored content mod, an HK Factory mission. The HK Factory mod has been done. Shoutouts to whoever made that, it was actually mostly pretty good. Let me take a moment to give my usual announcement. Glory! Chaos! Yes. We are here to sow chaos. So we will now be fighting our way through the Sith command vessel known as the Ravager. And this is going to see us take down the first of the three great Sith Lords that we'll have to fight.
Target sites. Place the proton core, prime it, then give the signal, Mandalore. Arming signal received, Mandalore. The proton core is active. We still need to set 3 more charges. Mandalore, we're holding our position, but the Sith appear to be offering little resistance. It's like they don't even realize we're here.
So he's going to appraise us of the situation that he's in virtually every time we set a proton core. Our goal essentially is to reach 4 specific sites on the ship and set proton core bombs throughout the vessel in order to blow the Ravager apart. Did she just use word power kill, or was that like the visual glitch the whole time? Jolie's robe. Oh my god, is that Jolie's Jedi robe from the first game? Is that whose robe that is? Oh yeah, it's restricted to neutral too. That's even funnier. Jolee Bindo remained outside of the Jedi Order in his pursuit of knowledge. These powerful yet unassuming robes were believed to have been owned by him, though his current whereabouts are unknown. These robes can be upgraded with some underlays. Okay. Felinar armor. Alright. Visage now hits as hard as I do with force speed. That's obscene. Okay, then we'll open the door with the lightsaber and I'll show off that animation. Alright. So that's bomb site 1. That's the shuttle that'll take us to Citadel Station, so we don't really want to go there. Oh wait, we don't want to go that way. Yeah, we want to go this way. Oh, there's a locker that I can unlock. So much force speed, you turn into the Flash or A-Train. Yeah? I mean, that's almost what we are now. Kind of like a pseudo-Flash. Just run right through them. I wish I could do that. That would be so metal. But the game doesn't let you do that. So there's a Sith assault division waiting for us right there. That missile bay, you might want to remember it because it's going to be important later. We won't be able to fuck with it right now, though. The Boys was a really fucked up television series. Like, that was one of... It was basically like, what if all the heroes that we worked with were, like, basically assholes? Homelander was such a piece of garbage. Because the missile knows where it is. Well, I have to remember because we'll be removing a proton core from that missile here in a little bit. Visaz, do you have the security skill to break through this?
I have failed.
No. I already know Mandalore doesn't. I apologize, everybody, for my previous KOTOR stream being half the regular length. I thought I only did 48 minutes. I actually went back and looked. I did 58 minutes. It was almost a full hour. That was the point of the show. It was a dark comedy on that fact, but Season 3 gets stupid. Yeah, I'm told Season 3 does a lot of random shit for weird reasons.
Place the proton core, prime it, then give the signal, Mandalore.
I never watched The Boys because a show like that just didn't appeal to me at all. I didn't realize it was supposed to be a black comedy series. I thought it was just supposed to be really fucked up. Like, you know, what if they were all human and they weren't afraid to abuse their power once in a while? So yeah, they went from barely being touched by the Sith to we've had to fall back some. Keep in mind, these are Mandalorians. Mandalorians, are, particularly back in this era, were very good at killing Jedi. And they were almost as good at killing Sith. But, yeah, even these Mandalorians who are... A lot of them are veterans from the Mandalorian Wars, where they fought Jedi and Force sensitives. They're being pushed back by these guys. I almost tried to attack Mandalore because he looks similar to these guys. His armor is not quite the same, though. Like, there's enough tells for you to realize who that is. If an actor makes you hate their guts, they did a good job. Only if they're playing a villain. I'm gonna say that right now, because Rachel Ziegler has managed to make virtually everybody in the world hate her guts. And not for any reason any actor or actress should ever be negatively seen. I'm just saying that right now. Like, I'm not gonna go into that super controversy, but only if the actor or actress is a villain. If they manage to make you hate their guts and they're a villain, absolutely correct. They have done a wonderful job. But if they're supposed to be somebody you like, and you hate their guts, then you have failed miserably. As an actor. If that's what you have produced from people. I'm told that Season 3 gets stupid in a number of ways because it tries to include more...
One of the target sites.
Oh.
Place the proton core, prime it, then give the signal, Mandalore.
I love how my character's head just disappears.
Mandalore. The proton core is active. Only one proton core remains to be set. We're encountering heavy resistance. I don't know how long we can hold out.
Oh, by the way, this happens.
What the hell was that? I told you to wait! Mandalore, we've made contact with the enemy, and one of the cores has detonated prematurely. Was it in the target zone? No, Mandalore. We have failed you. I offer you
another core?
No, Mandalore. Even with the other 2 cores set in the ship, it will not be sufficient to destroy the vessel.
We need to find another proton core, or we need to make one. All right, wait for my signal. This isn't over. And don't kill yourself before I tell you.
He was about to offer him his life in return for his fuck up. So now we need to go back to the maintenance bay for the missiles, and we get to remove a core. Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard a lot of characters that were added in and were added in for quote-unquote diversity, which is what Hollywood really likes to do a lot lately. They're so super obsessed with it to the point of excess at this point, and it's gotten ridiculous. And the problem is not the characters added for diversity. The problem was that I hear they were handled incredibly fucking poorly. And they were. There we go. We've removed an extra proton core, and now we have what we need for the vessel. And I'm not going to get super into that situation because I talk way too much about stuff like that already, and I really need to stop. But if you are going to include a lot of characters, you need to be able to treat those characters as though they actually have purpose and reason, and they need to have depth. Like, this game is actually a great example of having a wide variety of characters, because they are, they're all deep. Like, they all have a great deal of depth. Every character has their own personality, their own motivations. They'll agree or disagree with you in different instances depending on how you handle situations. They won't really approve of some of your situational handlings. They're like, and the game makes time, if you make the time, to give you a story with each of these characters. So that's kind of like, if you're gonna have a big ensemble, you need to make each character deep and make time for each character. You can't just throw in a billion people for crap like that. But that's all I'm going to say about it, because I speak too much on that as it is, I feel, and we're here to enjoy Star Wars. We're not here to get too into that. Suffice to say, though, I hear that most of the early seasons of The Boys was actually pretty good. It's just a really fucked up show that has really fucked up characters, and I didn't really watch it because of that.
You've reached one of the target sites. Place the proton core, prime it, then give the signal, Mandalore. Arming signal received, Mandalore. The proton core is active. That's the last of them, Mandalore. We can destroy the ship on your command.
But yeah, this game is a great example of a very big ensemble of characters done right.
Come to kill me. The final insult. Stripping Onderon, my soldiers, my home from me, only to have me die here. He happened. The hunger that fills this vessel.
And then here's Colonel Tobin.
Is power, but it consumes without end. It is that power we felt on Onderon, that Vaklu felt. It was an echo, too strong to ignore. General Vaklu and I, when it seemed that we would need more to take Onderon,
Hello, Pebbles.
make it strong again, he came with his power, his soldiers. It seemed as if there was nothing.
Do you want up here, Furby?
Nothing the Queen could do to stop us. I have served the wrong master. He cares nothing for Onderon, its soldiers, its people. Everything exists to feed his will. I came here, to this dead ship, and now he will not permit me to leave. This ship, It is a graveyard of a terrible battle. Everything on it slowly dies, as long as he hungers.
It is the way of all life that serves him. In his presence, all life dies.
Come here.
This ship is from Malachor.
Come on.
This Sith Lord of yours bolsters his fleet with ships from that world? He's nothing more than a scavenger.
I think he is of that place. If so, then his power may be great indeed. Greater than I had thought.
The Master suffers. If he cannot feed, then the hunger begins to consume him. The planet, Telos, he may feed on something upon its surface to sustain him a while longer.
Come here.
You think to lie to me still? I told him, you know, what the old woman told me. I told him of the Academy here, of the Jedi here. I could not have kept it from him.
Thrawn. No, this is Colonel Tobin after a certain individual fucked him up.
That Jedi witch you travel with, Kreia.
Yes.
If you remember, Kreia brought him back from the brink of death somehow.
Academy here on Telos, and my master was forced to come here. Then her lies will mean the planet's destruction. He will destroy all of Telos. He will turn it to fire again and crush the planet beneath him. He will devour them all, murder them all.
If there are no Jedi here, then my lord cannot feed his hunger. He will destroy the planet, the station. He will cleanse it of life. Even if the people below are not force sensitive, the small
Grand
amount
Admiral
of
Thrawn was a
freedom
really
from
cool
mass
character. I
destruction
recommend
of the
everybody
station and the
please
life
read
of
the
planet
books on him,
will
as a
sustain
matter
him
of fact.
a while longer. And if there are no Jedi below,
Star Wars
he will
Rebels
have no other
kinda
choice.
does him justice, but I think the books are way better.
Then he will suffer. Without something to sustain him, I do not know what will happen.
He will consume himself.
He will create nothing. He will end this place.
You should read that book if you still have it. It's a good book.
And with it,
Grand
countless
Admiral Thrawn
other
is very
worlds that
interesting.
depend on its survival. You could not stop him even if you wanted to. And you cannot escape either. If the Force runs through you, he will feed on it when Citadel Station dies. Your time, your life, will end here. On the bridge. He waits on the bridge.
Aww.
Waiting for you. No. He does not wait for you.
I do not believe he knows his ship has been boarded. And if he did, he would not care. The extent of his power cannot be put into words, and his perceptions have grown as well. To him,
You are dust motes in a storm, a grain upon the beach, and as insignificant as a body that orbits the graveyard of Malachor. Fight him if you will, but if he turns his power upon you, you will be destroyed.
Well, I'm sorry to hear you don't have that book anymore. Grand Admiral Thrawn is a very, very cool character, and I'll talk about him since you brought him up when we're done talking to Tobin.
This ship, is it his weakness? It should not exist, yet it cruises the darkness between the stars. He tore it from the mass shadows of Malachor.
I don't know that much. I just know a little bit of what somebody told me secondhand, and it could have been
The
wrong.
ship is barely holding itself together. The structural damage should have destroyed it long ago.
He holds it together. And he keeps us all alive. Just enough. Like rotworms within a dying beast.
More Jedi tricks.
No. Not Jedi. Not Jedi at all.
If he's so powerful, why hasn't he stopped us then? We've attacked his ship, killed his soldiers, and he's done nothing.
It is because he sees planets, stars, not people.
That is true. Darth Nihilus
The
doesn't give a
planet
fuck
alone,
about
the
individual
station
people.
with its teeming life. Only that is massive enough to demand his attention. There is nothing to be done except wait. If you go to him, he will destroy you, and your last moments shall be of shadow and pain. Onderon. But there's no longer any need. long as he exists, Onderon is in danger. The galaxy is in danger. What would you have me do?
Go report to the target site, Colonel. I'll let my men know you're coming. And if you try anything stupid, they'll shoot you dead.
I will do as you ask, for Onderon's sake.
The thing about Colonel Tobin, and this is...
Shouldn't waste our time with a weak.
Fuck you, Mandalore. The thing about Colonel Tobin, and this is something that he really demonstrates, is that he is a patriot. The only thing Colonel Tobin cares about is Onderon. He doesn't give a damn about the Republic. He doesn't give a damn about the Jedi or the Sith. He doesn't give a fuck if you're a Force sensitive or a non. All he cares about is the prosperity and propagation of his home world. That's it. He's not really good. He's not really bad. He's just doing whatever he thinks is necessary to preserve his home world. All Tobin cares about is taking care of his home. He just wants his home to survive. He just wants Onderon to thrive. And he's willing to do anything that he believes is necessary to get there. That's why he believed he needed to kill Queen Talia. That's why he fought for General Vaklu. That's why he did what Kreia asked him. His homeland is the only thing he cares about. And that, unfortunately, made him very easy to persuade to do very bad things for very bad reasons.
This door leads to my cell. I had forgotten. If there is time, I would like to center myself. There is a meditation chamber within my cell.
Yeah, basically, that's kind of what Tobin thinks. As long as Onderon thrives, he doesn't care what needs to be done. To him, the ends absolutely will justify the means as long as his home world thrives. He doesn't care who sits on the throne. General Vaklu was just the next person he thought would be strong enough to give his planet good leadership for the future. But he would have sided with anyone who could have done that. Anyone.
Where once there was a world that was strong in the Force, now there is a barren wasteland. It has taken time for me to return here. I lost my way, but I've been stronger for the journey. What happens now shall not be done out of hate or revenge, but for the sake of all life. And I ask you, finally, to forgive me. This body is a prison no longer.
So, this scene can go very differently if you are Darkseid. Visaz has come to terms with the death of her world and calmed the hatred within herself. This has given her a stronger connection to the Force and a bonus to her Force points. If you lead Visaz down the dark side, and she absolutely can go that far, you can basically get her to choose revenge and hatred for the entire rest of her existence, and she'll bask in the power of the dark side there instead of basking in the light and choosing to let go of that negative feeling. But the thing about people like Colonel Tobin that you really have to consider, and this isn't meant to be like a contemporary, hey, this is something you should really be aware of in the modern day because it's happening. I don't intend for this to come off that way. This is just something that I find to be a very interesting point. If you are somebody who very much believes that the end justifies the means to your beliefs, you had best look long, hard, and careful at everything you do. Because people like that tend to end up like Colonel Tobin. And look at what happened to Colonel Tobin. General Vaklu had to recruit the Sith in order to be able to stand a chance of taking Telos. But the Sith, or not Telos, but taking Onderon. And Onderon would have inevitably been killed by his stupidity as a result. Because Onderon would have been taken by a Sith Lord who has to feed on the life force of worlds in order to sustain his power and existence. In addition, Colonel Tobin was killed by a Sith monster that he tried to ignore and then revived before his body could fully die by a Force user who basically puppeteered his ass to go and serve somebody else so that she could then have you use him to take down the Sith Lord that had once betrayed her and was now little more than a rival to her power and somebody she sought vengeance against. People who live on the ends justify the means 100% of the time, sooner or later, if they don't look very carefully at what they do and how they do it, very easily end up working for monsters and typically end up dying for causes entirely not what they originally fought for because they get lost along the way. Because the ends ultimately will always justify the means of their survival to them. And really, like, that's the problem that this individual suffered from. Colonel Tobin was used, manipulated, and tricked by other people who were just more manipulative of him and knew how to play with him and knew how to fuck with his feelings and his beliefs. Like, Vaklu doesn't care about Onderon. Vaklu just believes that he will be what's best for Onderon. Because Vaklu is self-obsessive, and Vaklu is violently obsessive. He deluded himself into believing that he knew what was best for an entire planet, and that his dictatorship that he would have installed would have inevitably meant betterment for Onderon. And he was also willing to let the Republic burn and fall because he doesn't give a damn about the entire rest of the galaxy. And the thing that Queen Talia understood is that she was part of a greater whole with the Republic. It wasn't just about Onderon. She needed to put Onderon first, to be fair, but she was also trying to make sure she did that without crossing the Republic. And when you enter into an alliance and become a part of something greater, you're kind of caught between both sides. Because on one hand, you need to take care of your own before you take care of somebody else. But on the other, if you neglect the galaxy and the world at large as a leader too much, well, much more people will suffer because you would rather take care of yourself than occasionally lend a hand when people are asking for help. And that's a trap that I think a lot of leaders kind of get stuck in. So Talia might look bad to her own people, but it's only because she couldn't just prioritize Onderon. She also had to consider what the Republic's welfare would tolerate depending on her decisions. Talia was actually trying to take care of her people. Vaklu was just trying to sate his thirst for ambition and conquest. Because at the end of the day, Vaklu was a warlord, not a general. At the end of the day, Vaklu was kind of, he was a traitor. Vaklu was not a patriot. Vaklu just believed Vaklu knew what was best. And that arrogance caused him to inevitably walk headfirst into his own death.
This door leads to the bridge and my former master. If you wish to gather your strength, this is the last time.
I did say I would talk about Thrawn, but we now have to talk about Darth Nihilus, because Nihilus is who we are about to engage. Oh, wow, I cleared the Ravager ship inside of a half hour. That was pretty impressive. Oh, hey, dickhead.
He doesn't understand. He thinks he can't survive it.
You don't have a force bond with me, and those bonds allow me to blast your abilities back.
Who wants to die first?
Nihilus has a ridiculous amount of HP, by the way, so energy resistance is one of your best friends here. Oh, by the way, this can happen if you get the dialogue where Kreia tells you that you can use Visage to make her master vulnerable.
It's too powerful.
Force choke Visage.
I will try. How
He has a very strong willpower level. He will also try to use, as you can see, his Force Lightning to leech health from you, but he can only use it on one enemy at a time. That's kind of how they tried to balance it in KOTOR 2.
What the hell are you doing up there? We need to get off this ship. Now!
I have to see with the Force and my eyes. A man, nothing more. You are my master now, and I will follow wherever your path takes you. My path is at an end.
So, there's this massive reason for why I said that, oh my god, okay, what?
Canderous, are you alright?
Get away from me. I don't need your help. Just leave me here.
Canderous, the Force lies in all living things. I have watched my people die. You will survive. You have no choice. You have been wounded before and lived, Mandalorian. Rise. Many battles do you still have left in you?
You sound like Revan at the end. Do you know what he told me in those last days on the Outer Rim? That the Mandalorian Wars were our doom, and that we had been deceived. That it had never been our decision to wage war on the Republic. Revan said the Mandalorians didn't invade the Republic space 10 years ago because it was our choice. We were tricked. Our entire people sacrificed as pawns, and never knew it. He said there was a war coming, that it was waiting out in the unknown regions, in the dark, waiting for us to destroy each other.
A war? This war?
No, not this one. Another one. More terrible. against an evil we couldn't begin to comprehend. A war of belief that had been fought for thousands of years. Revan went off to fight it.
And left you here.
Revan was one of the greatest military leaders in the galaxy. In history. He knew what he was doing. And I always follow orders.
That was part of the restored content mod, by the way. That entire sequence, because you don't see that in the original version of this game. So, the reason why I said the Jedi Council were a bunch of absolute fucking morons, they accuse you of being a wound in the Force that feeds off of what you kill. Nihilus was actually a wound in the Force that fed off what he killed. The protagonist of this game, canonically named Mitra Surik, which is how I will refer to this character from now on, Mitra Surik, even though Mitra Surik is canonically a woman. Mitra is not a wound in the Force, they are a resonance catalyst. They awaken the power and potential in other beings, and they feed off of that resonance. They feed off of a growing build of union and power between them. Nihilus feeds on everything he kills and destroys. He has to. He is a wound in the Force that demands the life essence of entire planets every so often, full of Force sensitives, in order to be able to sustain his strength and rejuvenate himself. This is what the Council of the Jedi tried to call you. What he was. But we haven't had to feed on any of the people that we've killed. We haven't had to leech life force essence from anything that we've destroyed. Or any of the lives that we've taken out. Any of the people that we've fought. They got it all wrong. You are the polar opposite of what Nihilus is. But you can become like him. If you become Darkseid, one of your potential paths, if I recall correctly, is in fact to essentially become something similar to Nihilus. A living plague that feeds on the essence of the Force and cannot do anything else. The Jedi feared the influence inherent in you because your influence extends to through the Force. Like, you can use the power of the Force to help influence other people, both for better or for worse. You can choose to influence those who would follow you. And you form these bonds so well and so quickly that they were afraid that you were leeching the life out of everyone around you. But the reality couldn't be further from that. You don't leech life from these people. Look at Visaz. She was originally a Darkseid apprentice who'd lost her world, lost everything, succumbed to hatred and a need to serve a plague, a parasitic organism in the Force that was Nihilus. And you heal her soul. You fix what's broken in her mind just by talking to her and finding a way to show her that through your feelings, she can endure this tragedy and trauma and still become something great. Still live on and feel okay. I mean, you can do the same thing with Beodur, with Atten, with the Handmaiden. Like the Handmaiden, you open her up to the freedom of choice, and she can choose to serve the will of the Force, or she could choose to follow you as an apprentice and learn more about it.
Admiral Onasi wanted to speak with you, sir. As I understand it, there was something private he wished to ask you. Concerning a mutual acquaintance, I believe is how he put it.
It's a little beat up, but it's still home. I wasn't able to be here to protect it when the Sith attacked the first time. This time you gave me a second chance. I owe you.
Gren said you wanted to speak to me about a mutual acquaintance.
I've read your records, how the Jedi sentenced you for doing what you believed. You wandered past the Outer Rim during your exile. I ask you, did you find any trace of Revan?
Did you know him?
I served with him, like you did. And we had to part ways, like you did.
Why?
He said that there were places where he had to walk where I could not go. Places where having allies, or anyone he cared about, would only place them in danger. It's been 4 years, and I still don't know what happened to him.
He might be dead.
I don't believe that. I've lost friends before, and until I see them dead, I don't believe it. He told me to stay here, to try to keep the Republic strong, and that he would return. It was the hardest request I ever had to find.
The Republic strong? Why?
I don't know, but it was important to him. He said that he believed something had been behind the Mandalorian Wars. That it hadn't been the Mandalorians' choice to attack the Republic. Whatever it was, I think he went off to find it, to fight it.
How did you know Revan?
It was near the end of the Jedi Civil War, when it seemed like we were going to lose everything. We met on a Republic warship called the Endar Spire. It was being attacked over Terrace, and the Sith had stormed the ship. We saved the Republic. But it was like the war didn't end for him. He would keep remembering things that he'd done, and it kept driving him. And I think he finally remembered something terrible that he'd done during the Mandalorian Wars, and he went to put an end to it. He left a lot of people who cared about him behind. But I think he did it because he thought it was the right thing to do. But whatever he set out to do, I don't think he succeeded. And here you return, with his ship, without him.
Revan's ship?
Yes, wherever he went, your ship's been there. If you return to that place, if you find some trace of Revan.
Do you want me to tell you what I find?
No, simply tell him that Admiral Onasi is following his orders. Safe journey, Exile.
Did he know?
No, he didn't.
There are times I fear we shall never know where he left Karth, and I cannot live not knowing the answer. Why he sought to protect us.
He asked us to stay to keep the Republic safe. It was important to him. And after meeting the Exile, I'm convinced that there are worse things to lose in the galaxy.
There's something I have left to do. One last place to go. One last
When
journey.
you lose their lives, like I lost my family in Malachor 5.
And Father left me, left us all when he lost all that he loved at Malachor 5.
We go now, my master, to that dark place which made you, where you gained your ship, your troops, your ship, my prison, that you dragged from the gravity well at Malachor 5.
Wish I'd never met him. Wish I'd died there. But the storms have dragged me down into Malachor 5.
We will not surrender. We will not die, like we did on Malachor 5.
Your command echoes still, General, and I obey, as I did at Malachor 5. Now Malachor 5 comes to us, and I wish to face it this last time. You know where you must go. It calls to you still.
It is the heartbeat of the past.
And she must be stopped, there, now, or she will bring the screams of Malachor 5 to the galaxy, just as we carry the echo all this way.
That was also a scene from the restored content mod. That is not originally there.
and she must be stopped.
I will be right back while you guys watch this.
It has been some time.
You were a fool to return. I spared you once. I will not do so again.
Spare me? Ah, yes. No, you simply did not learn the lesson I sought to teach. That your strength is as meaningless as the strength of my hand.
Why have you returned?
Because now I understand why the exile did what he did. There is much to be done.
Master, he is here.
I know.
What is thy bidding, my master?
You are to do nothing. When he arrives, bring him before me.
He will not survive Malachor.
What will you do with him, my master?
You know what I shall do. You, who wear my teachings so well. I will break him. He is a blank slate upon which my teachings may be written, as I intended for you so long ago. Leave me. Await the arrival of the exile. When he comes, bring him before me.
A good portion of that was also restored content. So all of the companions that we've been building up throughout this point, they're not going to help us through this game in the absolute final act. We must go it alone. This is Malachor 5. This is what's left of this world. You might think this place is only got environmental traps. Trust me when I tell you, it's got some very nasty surprises for us. Using breath control is essential for moving anywhere near those cracks in the ground and not taking toxic fume damage. These are the storm beasts. As you can see, they're no match for me now. They're very, very powerful. They can actually be extremely dangerous to a somewhat improperly built character, as a matter of fact. I love the orchestral music in this game. It's so good. As you can see, these guys do pretty significant damage, so you are going to need to rely on everything that you've collected, every force power, every item that augments your build. You need to be ready to use it because it's just you. You are the final bastion, and how you have built your character is going to determine that. Jedi consulars who come through here have to be extremely reliant upon their force powers to win the day. Jedi Guardians, you have to be extremely reliant on how well you mix your force powers in to your martial prowess. So I said I would talk about Grand Admiral Thrawn. Grand Admiral Thrawn is a Chiss. The Chiss are a blue-skinned, red-eyed species of aliens that look very similar to humans, but they're a lot colder, if that makes any sense. They're very tactically minded, they're very strong-minded, and they will not make deals with anybody they deem weak or lesser than them.
If the exile has come here, then he has not come alone.
Of course, apprentice. The Huntress is with the exile. She has a special talent for finding that which should remain lost. It also makes her difficult for me to sense, but not to a creature bred for such things.
Shall I send the assassins for her?
No, I have brought a beast to Malachor to deal with that one. We shall see if prey can become a predator. Her breaking shall be flesh and bone, or it shall be inside. If she survives, she will become stronger for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's a surprise. Yet another slice of galactic paradise. Why can't we ever go to Alderaan or Ithor or someplace without metal, jagged rocks, or packs of bloodthirsty beasts?
So, Mira's little bit here is sort of restored content, sort of not. It expands upon her a little bit, which is good. But it's not necessarily the greatest thing in the universe. Largely because she doesn't seem like she actually knows. She never finds us. Like, she doesn't find our character. She just kind of keeps doing what she's doing. Force Choke is doing wonders at stun locking the shit out of those guys. Holy crap. Oh, that's why my security isn't working on anything. It's fucking ass. There we go. Alright, now I get to find out if Force Power Kill is going to be as lethal as a couple of my viewers have advertised. I figured I'd give it a shot. I know Choke is definitely working out pretty good. But I mean, it's Force Choke. How bad can it be? Actually, hold on. Good God, it took like half his health away. Oh my word. Oh, that's pretty strong. Like, it stun locks them for a good while, and then, you know, proceeds to, on top of that, cut their HP in half. That's pretty nasty. So that leads to the Malachor depths. We're not going there yet. I want to make absolutely sure I've full cleared the map. Reasons for that will become evident after we enter the depths, but Grand Admiral Thrawn was a master strategist and tactician that the Emperor elected to add to his army after a Star Destroyer and 2 of his Victory Class 2 frigates, I believe they were, ended up under the control of Thrawn and 5 of his own people. Thrawn was then discovered sneaking around aboard a vessel by himself and inevitably chose to surrender to Imperial authorities after that so that he could meet with the one controlling the Empire after having demonstrated his abilities and tested the skills of the people he was dealing with. His entire intro to the Empire was just kind of testing them. I am running against the wall because I'm not paying proper attention to my screen, apparently. Good God. How's that for silly? But he is actually a very, very, very brilliant tactician. During his time working with the Empire, he had a number of run-ins with a crime lord that considered him a personal rival.
Hanhar. Are you kidding me?
He's not actually grabbing her neck. That animation's bugged. If you do not have the power of the Force, this fight with Hanhar is actually a lot harder. If you do, this fight is mostly just kind of a skill check. Hello, Pebbles, baby. Did you come to see me? So yeah, Hanhar not really a threat because of how I spec Mira. I'm gonna mute myself for a bit because I'm gonna munch on some taquitos. Alright. Sorry about that. I'm really hungry and I didn't eat breakfast this morning. My own fault. Oh. Interesting. That looks like it was built with a purpose. Trying to make sure all of the storm beasts are dead. After I enter the academy, it will become very apparent why I want that to happen. And it actually involves these crashed Republic ship engines that I keep finding. Okay, game, you were going to learn to do what I'm clicking on. Thank you. This sucks. I'm gonna mute myself so you guys can enjoy the fight, and I can enjoy some food. Jesus Christ, I didn't think kill was going to do that much damage. I thought the fight was going to take a couple of tries. Holy crap. Oh my god, that was amazing. Ha! Ha! Dash Shade Sonic Disruptor. Interesting. I thought that thing was gonna whip my ass. By fire from a heavy repeater rifle. Interesting. Those Sith Assassin corpses are also from the Restored Content mod, by the way. They're not normally there either. Here I was thinking I was gonna have to cut down a whole bunch of Sith. Guess they're gonna let me inside.
I say we fire a rocket at her right now and blow her screaming, burning body into the heart of this planet.
It wouldn't work. If there were other distractions, maybe. If she wasn't telepathic, maybe. If you want to kill her like that, you need something else to occupy her attention. Otherwise, you might just wound her, and then we'd all be in trouble.
This battle will not be decided by weapons.
You are wrong. Manipulation is Krea's strength, not battle.
Let us see what transpires, and plan our attack.
You might have noticed that Bao-Dur, T3M4, and HK-47 are not there. I don't know what happened to T3M4, but you're about to figure out Bao-Dur and HK-47.
The Sith are striking from the graveyard
Oh,
of Malachor 5.
and Goto.
The ship the Sith Lord was on was one of the vessels damaged in that final battle. If you reach Malachor's surface, the mass shadow generator can be undone, provided there are enough vessels intact within the orbiting debris or buried in the planet's surface. Use the sequence I am unlocking in your memory banks on the engine core of any vessel you encounter on Malachor. If my calculations are correct, 4 vessels should be enough to power up the mass shadow generator and undo the damage that was done in Malachor 5, the damage I did. Once the sequence is begun, it cannot be stopped. So make sure the general is off the planet before triggering the sequence. Otherwise, there will be no retreat. I know your weapon systems are minimal, and I don't know what awaits you on Malachor's surface. Try to avoid contact with any potential threats. Follow your programming.
Your programming commands you to find 4 vessels buried within Malachor's surface, and activate the engine systems on each one. Excuse me, I apologize. When the engine systems are activated, it will disrupt the gravitonic anomaly that is keeping the planetoids fused together. Warning, you have no offensive weapons, and if you are destroyed, you will have failed your mission. Travel across the planet as fast as you can to hit each of the points and activate the engine systems one at a time. So, this is meant to make this sequence feel like it has weight, but if you go through the trouble of making 100% certain you have killed literally everything on this planet, in every single area, nothing is here to threaten T3M4, or, not T3M4, but the remote. The remote also moves fairly quickly, so you won't be spending too much time doing this. Just make sure you killed all the storm beasts with Mitra, and you won't have any problems guiding this probe around in order to do its job. Funny, I killed the storm beast that was here. Did the restored content mod spawn another one? Looks like it did. Pretty sure the restored content mod spawned an extra storm beast there. It's not supposed to be anything left alive. Is that your therapist, honey? Oh. Now, if you see this little tick here, that's a mine. That's what causes the gas to pop up. It's possible that the restored content mod spawned another Storm Beast there. Either that, or I just missed one somehow. It's possible I missed one. I was pretty sure about doubling back on myself there, I thought, which is why I'm surprised there was a Storm Beast left. But in the regular version of the game that I play, if you kill all the Storm Beasts as Mitra, there is never a Storm Beast to threaten the remote. What'd she say? Okay. Okay. How bad can it be? It's orange chicken. It can't be that bad, can it?
If you are hearing this, then the sequence has been completed. When active, it will destroy Malachor. Again, I have one last command for you. You must remain behind and ensure that the sequence fires properly once the general gives the command. If not, then all we have fought for has been for nothing. You have done all I asked, all you were built for, and for that, I thank you.
Hello, Goto.
Touching. The probability of the Iridonian installing trigger commands within your core was high. I see the probabilities have played out. Of course,
yeah.
The probability that I would do the same is equally high. Your inability to move right now is evidence of that. If the general issues the command, only I will be here to receive it. You realize I cannot permit you, the exile, to activate the mass shadow generator here on Malachor. In that, your programming and mine conflict. And since you have no offensive weaponry to speak of, the probability of your programming overriding mine is low. You must understand that the general would not wish the relics or the Sith strength here on Malachor to be compromised. Their presence is needed to stabilize the galaxy. Without them, the galaxy will be reduced to anarchy within years. And if there is anything I can't stand, it's an untidy galaxy. So, let us wait here, you and I, for the General's orders and calculate the probable fate of the galaxy.
Correction. One bit rust listening to your speeches, Fat One. Perhaps it is the large unwieldy vocabulator within your moon-sized frame that prevents your calculations from taking me into account. And while I find this small droid annoying in the extreme, I find my urge to shoot you takes a higher priority.
Arranged for friends to meet me here, and you seem to have brought none of your own. Stop him.
Unexpected correction. We cannot harm that unit. It is a violation of our self-preservation programming. Statement. As always, Fat One, you have miscalculated.
Ah, an unfortunate oversight.
Statement. I understand. Assassination protocols activated. Let us see what you have in your arsenal, Fat One.
All I wished was to fulfill my programming. Either way, the Republic is...
Observation. I thought he would never die.
Thank you, HK47. There's an alternate version of that, by the way. If you take over the HK51s and then lead them into an army, he basically has Goto killed by firing squad.
Ah, the Huntress. Come alone. You are braver than I thought.
She is not alone. We stand with her.
And with her, Stand all the Jedi.
And now I come in saying something suitably heroic.
Children with lightsabers, but not Jedi, I think. Come close. Let me look upon you and see what the Exile's teaching has forged. An assassin, a slayer of her own kin, a blinded slave, and a fool. Which of you wishes to try yourselves against me? As you can see, I am unarmed. You, perhaps. Come, child. Where you walk, it is not far from battle, slaughter, and the blood of your sisters. Think before you throw away your life for him. Think of everything you will lose by dying. Your lusts unfulfilled, a dance unfinished, a love requited. Think before you give it up so quickly. And you, blind one, you have hungered to strike me down ever since you saw the bond the Exile and I share. Can you feel the force running through me, even past the veil, past your blooded eyes? You know you cannot win.
Force runs strong within you, Treya. But in the howling of a storm, it is difficult to hear the whisper of the blade. You have forever been the blind one. You were given a gift few are ever given, and yet you let your gift of sight warp you, twist.
You think your existence under your lord was torture, Miraluka? I will make you see an assassin.
Funny. That's just what I was thinking.
That entire scene was restored content. Atton showed up to beat his ass. Guess I trained him a little bit better than Darth Treya trained you, eh, Scion?
When the Exile enters Treya's academy, he will be faced with a choice. One path, assuming he survives, will allow him to save his friends, but he shall be the weaker for it. The other route will lead him directly to Viscount's, through the ones that have hounded his steps from the beginning, and he shall have his vengeance. Show him every respect when he arrives in these halls, Lord Scion. This I command you.
Useless! So this is the dark halls of a Sith Academy that managed to hide under Malachor. I have a lot of cleansing to do here. Time to get started. I'm just doing this to fill in the edges of the map so that when I look at the map again later, I don't end up, you know... I don't end up wondering where I'm going and what I need to be doing. Don't waste my time. You're just warm-ups for the real fight. None of you were meant to match me. The power of the Force is incredibly strong, but it's poisoned with the darkness. The dark side. It runs through this planet like a twisted well. I'll cut you all down! Move aside. You are not my equal. And I will save my charges. Die. Move aside! Brianna. Visage. I can feel them all. They're here. You think you are my match? Can you beat me without your friends? Helpless, all of you. You should give up.
Don't make me laugh.
So this leads to the proving grounds. I am not going to go through there yet. I am going to show you what happens when you take both paths. Because I will be taking both paths before I actually go in. We've got everything you need to maim, hack, and slaughter!
So many of you.
Atreus Crescent. So this is the first path you can take. Sith Commandos. Dead Sith Commandos. Mandalorian heavy repeater. Made from the emanations of the dying Jedi. Hurricane crystal. Lightning gloves. Physical boost implant. It grants 1 to 8 unstoppable damage. But I'm going to keep the Kyber crystal that I have. Because it's just better. Not sure what caused that glitch. Another party. Sith Lord. By the power of stasis, I cut you all down. We are nearly at the end of the game here. Alright, now we need to go to the Proving Grounds. Now that we have cleaned out this area, 100% of all enemies and all items. Ow, that did a massive amount of damage. Malachor story. What do you mean my entire party has been killed? I was healing myself. To die, I would have to have not been healing myself. Okay, let's go do that again because you didn't pay attention to what I was doing, game. There's no way that Storm Beast hit me for 300 damage. That would involve me just sort of, oh, I don't know, not casting a healing spell? That death right there? That made no sense. What the fuck happened? How did you justify this? It looks like I'm not going to be able to finish the stream entirely today. Well, actually, I might. I'm going to go a little bit over my time, but I will be able to do it. Yeah, the damage that kill deals is entirely percentile based. It's a very force-intensive move set to be, or move to be amusing, though. There you go. I do still think that Force Storm is actually way more OP, though. I don't know if I'm going to get the chance to show that off. We'll see. Jesus, holy Christ. Those guys just did 128 damage out of the blue for no reason. There we go, that's better. Gotta keep that energy resistance up. It neuters the shit out of lightsabers really badly. That's a lot of dudes! Why resist the damage if you don't have to take it in the first place? Hi! Yeah, this room is full of commandos. Give up. Is that a Zeresian rifle that I just saw? Xercium rifle. Okay, that's what the... Wow! That's kind of an interesting blaster rifle. Okay. And I just upgraded my armor, so I have even more bullshit tier regeneration. also gave myself an immunity to the first 30% of energy damage attacks that hit me. So now I am even harder to kill. Good luck, Johnny. Good luck, Jim. And good luck, Dave. Because I'm probably going to kill all of you. My HP just did not really go down there. The regeneration was kind of stupid. That was kind of terrifying. Oh, wow. There's a ton of freaking doors in here. Huh. I expected somebody to be there. Oh! Yup. Flood cells with poison gas. You can murder your entire party here. I don't know why you would ever do that. Like, I have invested over 30 hours into these people. Let's just kill them.
And my people would be eradicated or enslaved. I never went to the surface, only the sky above it. The world is taboo to Mandalorians. We only came here when the Republic fleet gathered and we knew it was our only chance to stop them. I can't say I'm happy to be back here, but I believe we can do what must be done.
Particularly with how I expect all of you, you better be able to. They've got energy damage modifiers on those shock sticks. Or those Sith sticks. Some of them might, anyway. I might have underestimated how individualized the loadouts of some of these enemies are. I'm surviving, but I'm wearing armor. Very well designed armor, in fact. You're all going to die. Ah! Holy crap! I love how those guys just sometimes randomly do a shit ton of damage. Holy shit! Alright, my treat injury is pretty high. By the way, we just got something interesting. I believe that was Frieden Nad's. Oh, wow. Holy crap. So that's what lightning gloves do. Where is it? Frieden Nad's blaster. So, Frieden Nad also used a blaster. He did not actually restrict himself to solely a lightsaber. And you actually have to be dark side and Sith aligned in order to use it. I have found that blaster before, but it is very rare to find. Particularly without the item drop mod that I put on this game, it is very, very hard to get that. Are you ready to die? Yeah, we're already going a little bit over time here, but I don't think going a little bit over time is going to be too out of the question here today. I also kind of want to go a little bit over time because I feel like I owe you guys for how short the stream was where I started the HK Factory mod. I really didn't feel good about that. So, So I'm gonna try and push this until the game is done, because we're basically done with the game. And I'm gonna try and purchase and download Age of Mythology Retold tonight, because I feel like that's a really good game to play. I've heard a lot about it and I really want to try it, and I've seen a lot of gameplay of it and it looks like a really cool game. And I want to try it. Okay. course, there are more assassins waiting for us. Fuck it. It's just a Dark Jedi. Get trashed, my man. Life support pack and some chemicals. Rylith power cell. Life support packs. Let's kill the one who's dangerous first. Let's also restore our energy resistance augmentation. Energy resistance plus 30% energy damage reduction. I am a titan of force power and lightsaber battles now.
So you have come to die like the Jedi before you. This planet is a graveyard for your kind. She thinks you should be spared, but only so you might suffer. You will break, and when you do, you will die. Why she would bother with one as such as you is something I will never understand. You know nothing of her teachings. Nothing of the pain. You saw Malachor 5 and turned away. You turned away from power. She is a fool to see greatness in that. She awaits on the Traeus core in the heart of this planet, but you will never reach her. It is ancient. A relic that survived the destruction of Malachor. It was always here, far before the Mandalorian Wars. It draws death and hate to it, channels it, atrocities feed its power, and with its power, it creates hunger. Many Jedi have been consumed by it. It has been here for thousands of years. It is a place where the Sith teachings run strong. It is the threshold of the borders of an ancient empire. Kreia says it was a place of reflection for the ancient Sith, a gateway to their lands. It drew Lord Revan, and it calls to her as well. She said that the teachings here will lead one to the Sith, the true Sith, and all their shadowed worlds. This place led Revan to the graveyards of Korriban and beyond. It does not matter. The Lord Revan had the galaxy at his feet, could have made it strong, and he surrendered it to weakness. Like you, Revan touched power and turned away. The chance to heal this fractured galaxy, and he turned away. I was there when the Academy on Korriban fell, and the Sith turned on one another like beasts. Our chance at an empire, destroyed by Revan. Then it shall be proof that you're not the one she seeks, and she shall accept my loyalty again. You are wrong. I have come farther than any of her apprentices since Revan, even you, and I am stronger for it. You seek to erode my will. You will not succeed.
You have eroded Scion's will, reducing his will saves, constitution, and
ready
wisdom.
For you, exile. I have waited years to see the last of the Jedi fall before me.
Okay.
Only one may serve my master.
This fight can either take you several attempts to kill him, or it can only take one. And it really depends on how well you talk to him. There are very specific dialogues he needs to hear, and I'm going to try to hit the right ones as we go. We will see if I actually manage to show this off. But his, every time you successfully persuade him and reduce his stats,
now you realize
he becomes easier to fight.
Dark side. As long as the dark places of this world flow through the cracks of my flesh, I cannot be killed. You're strong. Perhaps she was correct about you. But you cannot kill me. She knows this. Should you die, then she will have no choice but to accept me at her side. My training shall be complete, as was intended. You intend to make me doubt her, doubt myself. This is not a battle of words, exile. It is one of blood.
His will has been eroded again. And he has succumbed to battle meditation there. You see how much damage I've dealt to him now. He's not able to dodge nearly as well, and his max health went down by like 50 points.
There is truth in your words. But there is nothing left for me except my master. I fight because it is the power that the Force fills me with. To survive. To inflict the pain on others. I can die 100 times, exile, and still I will rise again as strong as before. I will not fall. I cannot die. Why? Why did she choose you? What makes you able to defeat me? Defeat me here?
Because I was able to turn away from it, Scion. And you could not.
It is not possible to walk away from such things unscarred. To keep living when the universe dies around you.
It is difficult, yes. But in making such decisions is what strength is.
The Force is who I am. The dark side fills me. It is what I am.
And Kreia hates the Force, even as she wields it. If the Force is what you are, then that is what she despises. It's the truth, Scion. You feel it. Let go. It is not such a terrible thing.
Kreia, She will try to break you, to teach you how far someone can fall. Her weakness is you. She has done all this, all of it, for you. I am glad to leave this place, at last.
Rest in peace at last, Scion. Dormammu, I have come to bargain. Yeah, that is kind of what that was like there for a minute. Because I just kept kicking his ass until finally he decided to listen to me.
At last you have arrived. Is Malachor as you remember?
Malachor has not changed. Only you have. It's not too late, Kreia. I can save you, if you'll let me.
I have thought of this moment more than you know, and I wondered if here, at this ending between us, if you would care enough to try to save me. If a Jedi could find it within themselves to spare one who has fallen so far. I wanted you to say those words. For that I am grateful. But I do not want your mercy. I want you to break.
There is much I must ask you.
You no doubt have many questions. I would be a poor teacher if I did not give you the answers you seek here now.
Why did you destroy Atris?
I never destroyed Atris. She had destroyed herself. I merely stripped away the illusion and brought her truth. Her teachings could not be allowed to continue. And like Malachor, she was part of your past, unresolved. She needed to be something you could confront and defeat one last time. It was part of your training. Part of what was needed to make you complete. And there must always be a Darth Treya. The galaxy needs its betrayers, especially in the times to come. She loved you, you know, as one loves a champion. You were all that she could not be.
She never mentioned such feelings.
Yes. It is all that is left unsaid upon which tragedies are built. More echoes traveling through the Force.
Why have you done all this?
It is said that the Force has a will. It has a destiny for us all. I wield it, but it uses us all, and that is abhorrent to me, because I hate the Force. I hate that it seems to have a will, that it would control us to achieve some measure of balance when countless lives are lost. But in you, I see the potential to see the Force die, to turn away from its will, and that is what pleases me. You are beautiful to me, Exile. A dead spot in the Force, an emptiness in which its will might be denied.
If you hate the Force, why do you use it?
I use it as I would use a poison, and in the hopes of understanding it, I will learn the way to kill it. But perhaps these are the excuses of an old woman who has grown to rely on a thing she despises.
You were manipulating me all along.
Yes, always. From the moment you awoke, I have used you. I have used you so that you might become strong, stronger than I. I used your death to deceive the Sith, to make them believe they had won, so they would turn on each other.
So you used me to get revenge on Scion and the others.
I used you to keep the Lords of the Sith from condemning the galaxy to death with their power unchecked. I used you to lure them to Telos, where they could be at last fought and killed. I used you to reveal Atris's corruption, so that her teaching could be ended before it began. I used you to gather the Jedi so they could be destroyed. And I used you to make those who wounded me reveal themselves, so they could be killed by the Republic.
Why me?
Perhaps you were expecting some surprise. For me to reveal a secret that had eluded you. Something that
Yes,
would
that
change your
poison.
perspective of events, shatter you to your core.
The
There is
poison
no
for Cusco. The poison specifically chosen to kill Cusco. Cusco's
Yes,
poison.
you.
So what happens now?
The apprentice must kill the master. If you do not, I will kill you. If I do not, then all you have achieved will be as nothing, as empty and as violent as Malachor itself.
It sounds like Yzma. You will answer for every betrayal, every deception! Ugh. You can't beat me, Kreia! You couldn't before, and you won't now! I cast Toaster Bath. Get electrocuted, nerd. Yield, Kreia. You need not die.
You do not kill me. I shall end you. Strike me down. End this.
Then prepare yourself. I will make this quick.
Good is strength, but you have yet to learn the full extent of power. At last, it is done. You are greater than any I have ever trained. By killing me here, you have rewarded me more than you can possibly know.
Kreia, there is still time to save you.
Save me? You already have. It is enough what you have done. From now into the future.
What happens now?
It is your choice. I had hoped you would follow Revan's path, but you and Revan are different, and your path is your own. You may take one of the ships.
You were trying to pull a Ben Kenobi. No, actually, she's not trying to pull a Ben Kenobi. What she's doing here is very different.
Who will come in time. Or you may return to your exile, where your presence will no longer affect the actions of others. There is no dishonor in any of these choices. I only ask that you make the choice without regret.
No, she's not even being Palpatine. Like, what you were referring to is when Ben Kenobi said, "When you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you could ever imagine." Oh no, strike me down and embrace the dark side. No, that was Palpatine. She's not doing that at all either, actually. No. She just wanted to be 100% sure that her presence and her choices, like her apprentice, would be able to fully and completely succeed her in every conceivable way. One of my friends.
Many things do I see as I gaze here from the heart of Malachor. This place channels such energies. If it matters to you at this last moment, I shall look into the future and tell you of what I see. It is my last gift to you, from one exile to another.
What will happen to my friends?
You travel with them for so long, yet you do not know them still. Feel them through the Force, feel what they feel, hear their thoughts and know them as I fought to know you. They were the lost Jedi, you know, the true Jedi upon which the future will be built. They simply needed a leader and a teacher.
Tell me of Mira.
She will stop hunting life and instead live it. She was not born to be a predator, despite her true father and the life she led within the shadow of Nar Shaddaa. She will miss you and think of you often. You who awakened her to what life is. She will live, but only for a time. Her death will occur in many years' time on a forgotten planet, saving the lives of others. But it will be her choice, and she will have no regrets.
And Mandalore?
Many battles does that one have left in him, as Revan intended. A general needs an army as he needs those he trusts. And Canderous is a loyal beast, no matter how much he is broken upon Revan's will. But you know this.
What of the Mandalorians?
They will die a death that will last millennia, until all that remains is their code, their history, and in the end, the shell of their armor upon the shell of a man too easily slain by Jedi.
And Visaz? What of her?
The blinded one shall return to her home world, and as she looked upon you, she shall look upon the surface of that world, and perhaps at last see what she was meant to see. After that, I do not know. I do know that you must leave her behind. Where you are destined, you must not take anyone you love. It was Revan's choice as well.
The Handmaiden?
If she leaves this place, she will leave battle behind her, in no small part due to your influence. She will take Atris's role as historian, and teach others of the Jedi exile who gave up the Force and became stronger for it.
What about Atten?
Atten is, as always, the fool. And the Force watches out for one such as him, I feel, as it does for the old such as I.
And you?
I would have killed the galaxy to preserve you. I would have let the galaxy die. You are more rare than you know, and what you have taught yourself must not be allowed to die. You are not a Jedi, not truly, and it is for that that I love you.
And Beodur? And the droids?
Their paths are unknown to me, even the small one who waits for you outside this place. I sense it has one last journey for you. You must go where Revan did, into the unknown regions, where the Sith, the true Sith, wait in the dark for the great war that comes.
And Revan? He came here. He was here. What happened to him?
It is because he remembered what lay buried here, this place, its teachings. It paved the way to Korriban, you know, the remnants here. And because Malachor, like Korriban, is on the fringes of the ancient Sith Empire, where the Sith wait for us in the dark.
And what of the Republic?
The Republic will fall, as it always has. A fall that will take millennia. under the care of the herds of Ithor, the surface of Telos will bloom again, and its golden fields shall again harbor scientists and thinkers. And complacent and peaceful, it shall forget the time that Sol Karath orbited it and brought fire to its skies. But it shall be a home world again to others who will stretch out across the galaxy and bring life.
Tell me of Dantooine.
Dantooine shall survive. The community you saved shall be the foundation upon which Dantooine shall be habitable again. They shall drive back the Raiders, the Mandalorians, and all that strike at the Outer Rim. The Republic shall again establish their presence there, and shield it with its forces. And Dantooine shall heal, be safe, and its skies free. The ruins of the Academy shall remain.
And Nar Shaddaa?
Nar Shaddaa shall persist as it always has, but there will be a heart to the world where there was nothing before. Where once the lost and disposed were trapped there, now they will struggle and grow. From despair shall come hope.
What about Onderon?
Queen Talia shall have a long reign. Much good will come of it. She will, as she has, rule wisely and well. Onderon shall remain in the Republic, and the world shall prosper, though its people shall...
Tell me about Korriban.
Korriban shall be as it always was. A graveyard for the darkest of the Sith Lords, still whispering within their tombs. It shall always be a source of evil, spawning threats throughout the millennia. It, like Malachor, brushes the edges of the Empire that waits in the dark. And like Malachor, the Sith have forgotten it. For a time, they will remember. Revan knew this.
Rest now, Kreia. Your time in this place is over.
Need any company? I mean, I'm not doing anything. Besides, if I'm not around to bail you out of trouble, who knows what could happen. Alright then. Where are we going again? I mean, because last time we were heading towards this mining colony on the edge of space, and there was this Sith Lord, and...
So what Kreia was doing was very different in that final moment. She just wanted you to overcome her at her absolute peak so that she could prove that whatever happened, whatever choice you made, she had taught you so well that you could completely surpass her. As opposed to Palpatine, who was just trying to tempt Luke to the dark side, Kreia was just trying to 100% make sure that her student would have a future, would be the future, and would decide it. And that last bit there where Atton showed up to walk around with you, that was also restored content. That was not in the original base game. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. I will be going back and redoing enough sections to showcase the sequences of Nar Shaddaa that I didn't show off, and I will try to figure out how to proc Bao-Dur turning to a Jedi Guardian and awakening to the Force. This is something I wasn't able to show off. About Bao-Dur. He was originally intended, story-wise, to actually die at Telos during the defense of Telos. So, if you wonder why he doesn't show up in the final act of the game except as a hologram to his remote, that's why. Originally, he was in fact intended to die. It was just something they didn't have time to program and put into it. Some of the data files and whatnot, I think, aren't even there to allow them to restore. So that's kind of why Bao-Dur doesn't show up past doing the HK sequence. But realistically speaking, the game kind of leaves it open, I think, because the developers didn't have time to program that in there. HK-47, as we saw, kills Goto. Goto was trying to stop what he was doing, or what the remote was doing and what Beodur was doing, but HK-47 will not allow anybody to threaten his current controller or master. It's written into his programming, and he didn't like Goto from the beginning. Goto is basically scripted canon-wise to die there that way. If you have HK-47 take over the HK-51 droids, which he can do by modifying their behavior core slightly before putting them back online, then what can happen is he will have an army of HK-51s with him, and that small army will then very promptly proceed to give Goto the firing squad and blast him to death with their blaster weapons. And then he gives this really hilarious speech when he takes over the 51 models. But instead, we ended up shutting the factory down without doing that. Ultimately, though, I want to say this. Krea's final moments are actually very moving. She was voiced by Sarah Kestelman. I don't know if that's the same one who voiced Yzma. But virtually everybody here was a great voice to listen to and to behold. And I think they did a really good job with them. That said, I will also mention this. This is, in my opinion, particularly with the restored content mod added into it, this is the greatest Star Wars story that has ever been told in a video game. I'm sorry, I know that might be a bold statement even for somebody who hasn't finished most Star Wars video games, but a lot of the Star Wars games that I've seen, they're good, but they just don't compare to this. All these characters are so deep and rich and full of personal lore and backstory and characterization that makes them so interesting. And this was something that was carried by Larian over to Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 3, which, in my opinion, is kind of the modern-day successor to this game in terms of spiritual capability, because it's very much what I think this game could have been if this game had just had enough time in the oven to properly fully bake. Because this game is so close to being a perfect Star Wars game with, like, no flaws. And it just didn't quite get there, I think, largely because Obsidian at the time was not really given the development time allowed. This game was rushed out pretty quickly. And I feel really bad for Obsidian on that one, because this is an amazing game with an amazing story and an amazing cast of characters, and it could have gone down in history as one of the absolute greatest games of all time if it had had that time to bake in the oven, I think, and get that development time patched up. Kudos to the people who created the restored content mod and HK Factory mission restoration mods that I used. I will try to get their names put up at some point so that they can be properly credited for the mods that they have created and that I used to give everybody the visual experience here that I did. Thank you very much, Obsidian, for creating this. It's easily one of the best video games I've ever played in my life, and one of the greatest stories I have ever seen. So, thank you all very much for watching. I've been Savage Hound Dusk, and this has been Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords. Okay, yeah, there's the authors and the people who contributed to it. I'm going to go ahead and let all of these names linger up here on stream, and I will just continue to get all of this, you know, fully set up, because they deserve credit for everything they put together. It was amazing to watch. It was great to witness. And this is the kind of work that helps keep games alive, I feel, from the community sometimes. I just want everybody also to be aware I don't own anything of the restored content mod or the HK factory mod or anything like that. But I was grateful to be able to stream that. Thank you all very much for watching, and have a great day. I've been Savage Hound Dusk, and I'll see you next time.